We live in the most connected generation in history. We can watch anything, go anywhere, message, Skype or FaceTime anyone, and Google everything. Did you know there are more smartphones in the world than there are toothbrushes? By 2020, there will be 74 billion devices in the world. That's around 10 each for every person on the planet. There is more technology in an iPhone than it took for NASA and the US government to put the first man on the moon. If you added up all the data ever created from the beginning of time up until the end of 2014, that's a lot of data. In 2015, we created 10 times that amount of data. In other words, 90% of all the data ever created was created in the last year. The world is now growing at 2.5 quintillion bytes a day. That's 18 zeros every day. Or in their own words, a company the size of Google is being created every 2 days. We are more connected than ever, and it becomes an addiction. 64% of smartphone users check their phone as the first action of the day, every day, before they even get out of bed. The average number of times we check Facebook on our phones is 14 times a day, and that's just one app. Overwhelmingly, the most common sentiment expressed by smartphone users is that it makes them feel connected, and if we don't have our phones, we express emotions of anxiety, stress, disconnection, and loneliness. Have you ever been somewhere where you can't get signal or Wi-Fi? I'll say no more. In Genesis, we see this story of disconnection. The writer paints a picture of God in relationship with Adam and Eve, who are in relationship with each other. They are completely connected, and nothing is hidden. Entirely at one with themselves, at one with each other, at one with God, and at one with creation. But then we are told this story of catastrophic disconnection. When they eat the apple, it causes this profound separation and disconnection in all aspects of their life. They feel ashamed and cover themselves because they are disconnected within the deepest parts of themselves. They are no longer comfortable in themselves. They're not comfortable in their own skin. They disconnect from each other, blaming each other and hiding themselves from each other as God warns them that they will be at odds with each other and their relationship will be about power. They disconnect from God, hiding from Him and lying to Him and feeling threatened by Him, and they disconnect from creation. We are clearly the most connected generation in history, and yet, at the same time, we are the most disconnected generation in history. Have you ever been in conversation with someone when mid-sentence they pick up their phone and start texting or checking Facebook? Our ability to be in the conversation we are in, or with the person we are with, seems to be a dying art. And we seem to be less and less comfortable calling people or speaking face to face, instead preferring to text or comment or message people. I was at an event a few years ago, speaking to a large group of teenagers, and I asked how many of them didn't like silence. I asked how many of them listened to music or watched TV until they went to sleep, because when there was silence and they were left alone with themselves, they were troubled by the thoughts in their heads, or they found it stressful or scary. Over 2/3 responded yes. We fill our days with noise and distractions and addictions to avoid ourselves. And when we engage with creation, rather than stopping and contemplating and reconnecting with it, we Instagram it and share it and YouTube it. We commentate on our lives rather than actually living them. And we do the same with God. We talk about God, put clever quotes on our Facebook page, link to cool worship sets, and share blogs. But how much time do we actually spend connecting with God? Face to face, space to space. Prayer is the act of sitting face to face with God and letting the layers peel away until it's just us and Him. Nothing hidden, no distractions, just us. In a world where we are all busy, we are invited to stop and reconnect. Let your mind slow down, breathe a little, and let Jesus start the conversation. Let our worship be more than a set list or a playlist. Let it be a moment of vulnerability and allowing the deepest part of our being to connect or reconnect with our Creator. Breathe Him in and breathe Him out, and let God heal, love, and liberate us. Let Him show us who we really are. May we be people who reconnect in every way we can. May we be people who reconnect with each other, people who laugh together and cry together. May we be people who forgive, people who learn to live life fully, people who connect deeply with creation, and people who reconnect with our Creator. May you learn to be silent. May you learn to pray. May you learn to stop, to be you, and may you learn to reconnect.